Hello everyone and welcome to the show. You are going to love my guest today. She is an intuitive, a Reiki master, an energy healer, and she teaches people to connect with their angels, their spiritual guides, and their higher self. Please welcome to the show, Pamela.
Thank you.
Hello.
It's so wonderful to be here.
It is absolutely phenomenal to have you here. You are to me such an incredibly special being. And I've witnessed your work, I've experienced it, and I've seen others who have experienced your work. And the power and the gentle guidance that you do it with, it's really a beautiful balance. It's simply open and honest and real. And so I'm really, really grateful to have you on the show and to share your gifts with so many. So I'm so curious always of those who are walking in and their special gifts. How did you know and when did it start for you? Was it as a child?
There were many moments as a child. I felt really blessed, as if in this life I was given some playtime. I don't know if I'd always had that in past lives. So I was able to be aware of my gift, but not have it be really a part of my life. And I got to grow up with it, and it was really hidden from most people, so it wasn't exercised. And my memories and my bits of knowingness seemed to come at age-appropriate times. I spent most of my time growing up reading, studying people, developing vocabulary. I was just passionate about reading and had a high-level reading level at an early age, which it wasn't to go to college. It was so that I could relay as best I could spirit at this time in my life. And I was always able to have a lot of fun. I did my life kind of backwards. I had my fun first, and my calling to come to work came later in life.
Okay.
And I really felt that my gifts grew as the person I was helping in front of me called it. Yes. Can I do that? I don't know. Okay.
We'll see. Oh, there it is.
Yes.
Okay.
So they all came. They weren't ever a burden to me. It was just I knew what I needed to know, and I also have never had curiosity, so I've never really explored what can I do with my gift. I've always sat back and let my gift reveal itself to me, which is kind of unique. Most of us, it would be like a loose tooth that you would work all the time.
Right.
And for me, it's just, my knowingness just comes in and it's very gentle.
Now, did you grow up with any sort of teaching or training or religious, understandings that said, no, this is not good, you shouldn't be doing this, anything like that?
I'm sure it was inferred. Again, I was raised a Lutheran in the Midwest, and I just learned it wasn't something to talk about. Yeah.
And so what did you do with that? I mean, because I'm sure there are many who have kind of maybe felt that too, and then they kind of go into hiding.
I think for me, it gave me a great imagination. I think that one thing it gave me is, for me, whenever I meet someone, I feel their heart. So that was a way I could use my gift in every aspect of my life without ever opening my mouth. I would always know and feel someone's goodness or be intuitive about their needs and wants. And so it allowed me to be very comfortable in my world and very observant.
I bet. Now, did it kind of start that way, where it was mostly intuition? Did it kind of really show up primarily as that at first?
Yes, it did. And I think we're all manifestors too, and it would sometimes be that just realizing when you're in that magical place of imagining it's much more than that. And for me also, as I got older, whenever I met someone and you have that, I've known you before, I could say where.
Right.
And that was fun.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it was just always playful for you? There was never any moments of...
There were never really any scary moments. I did explore it. Once I realized the past life memory, it was fun to explore that, and I did do that a lot. Another thing is that I could always sense the energies around me. And I also think that I waited to use my gift until I spiritually grew into it.
Okay.
Because I remember knowing that not everything that we cannot see is friendly. And
Right.
I do keep all my work to the celestial realm. There's many that have passed over that just like to hear themselves talk. And then there's the special case of the deceased ones, which I ask to have them, keep away from me.
Okay.
And they have a way now of signaling if I'm with you and
Right.
someone wants to come through and it's for your highest good.
Yes.
They actually ask permission, but yes, they found a way to get my attention because I'm really good at ignoring them. But it was learning that I didn't want to mess around with things I didn't understand.
Right.
So
Right.
at the point in my life when I feel I have a really powerful spiritual foundation for me, and I have complete trust.
Yes.
I'm fearless that I know of
Okay.
thus far.
Yes.
And so it just came at the time it was supposed to.
So, and you say it shows up kind of interestingly for you, right? It's something with your ear.
Yes, if my red ear turns red, and I can usually feel it too because it's red hot, and it means that I'm with you, and so it's for you that a deceased person is here and wishes to just let you know that they're here. And I don't call myself a medium, and a medium is someone who tunes in on that one frequency all the time
Okay.
and becomes very adept at it. And I'm tuning in with angels. It's like a spiritual harmonica alongside you.
Yeah.
But I knew it was a woman, an older woman, and so that's what I had to ask you. And
Yes.
then godmother, and I got the big hit. And once I hear anyone's name, living or past, I can just connect in with their energies. So I can feel beautiful Lucille for you. So we got very emotional before we even started
I
today. She
know.
showed up. She's very forthcoming. She's right there.
Yes. Yes, she always was. Very, very, just very direct. This is who she is. Didn't mince words. Didn't say much, but when she spoke.
Yeah, I can feel her power and her energy. And yeah, I think she just wants you to know that she's here and she's so proud and she's witnessing. She's here.
Yes.
And
Yes.
actually, she's saying that for once, she really doesn't have anything to say. You're doing it right.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's picking it up, but her cat, whose name is Midget, who is literally 20 years old. So this is quite an old cat, but just now when you said that, it started meowing. So, yes, yes. And so things like that would happen for you at any time, anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you have control over it, or it just kind of happens and you're aware?
It's not a matter of control. I never go out purposely to have it happen. I just let it happen to me. But it does happen in unusual places at times. I might be out to dinner with someone that has no idea what I do, and they're saying, your bright ears are red. So it's like, okay, now I have to disclose who I am. So the ear it happens that the woman that we both discovered was here with us today, Mother Teresa, she's the one. That's one of the only times, if there's someone deceased or if there's a message that needs to be given for a child, I actually can feel her fingers pinching my right shoulder. And that's when I have to say, often to a complete stranger, excuse me, ma'am, but do you have a daughter about this high or a son? And they're like, yes. And then it's like, well, I have a gift and I have a message for you. And it's always been received beautifully, because it always tends to, I know in one situation it was, if your daughter is not doing well in school, it's great to move her until she finds a good teacher. She's very special. And the woman started crying because she had just moved her daughter, and they thought, are we creating a monster here? And
So you were able to give confirmation through that message.
And so then she was really happy to stay there a few moments longer and get a little bit more information about what made her daughter tick. And it was like, oh, you have to keep her dancing. She was very, very like. And I know the last thing was, oh, and by the way, if your daughter doesn't like someone, you probably shouldn't either. She has a little gift that way to trust her, that daughter had beautiful instincts, and also saw that. And she has a more protective sister, an older sister that's very protective and grounded, and that was the case too.
So this work with children and parents of special children, this is a real area for you that's of interest.
It is. Well, and I was surprised by that. In fact, I've never had children. I was never good at babysitting. I love children, you know, when they get to 5 to 7, but it's never been in my wheelhouse. And when Mother Teresa showed up after she passed, I was like, of all people, I've never been Catholic. I'm definitely not nunnish in any way. Why would you pick me?
Right.
And I would have other people predict to me that I would work with children, and I just had to say, okay, and now I see how and why, and I love it.
Yeah, that's special work, and because I think there are so many who, like yourself and others, have, you know, a gift or special gifts and things like that, and they don't know what to do with it. They're afraid of it, and then they run, or they're experiencing things and their parents don't quite know how to respond or how to guide them through some of those experiences. So.
That's so true. And what it really gave me too, I always wondered, why did I come in with my gifts? They really served me no purpose, but a lot of the children that are coming in now, I kind of feel like they sent me in ahead of time with that gift. And then I had this wonderful playtime in my life and called to work when it was time, because these children are arriving now, and they have those memories, and not just of past lives, but I've met a lot that almost have the symptoms that they left. There's such a hurry to come back, they almost have the symptoms of the adult that they left.
A lot of the energy, a lot of the personality and things like that. And I think they're even freer with, you know, just expressing exactly what they feel, what they sense, what they see. There doesn't seem to be as many barriers to that.
It doesn't feel like they're here to learn.
No,
it feels like they're here to teach.
Absolutely. Which I think has been, but was so much more repressed because of our society, right? Parents, you know, the teachers and children are to be seen, not heard, and a lot of those kinds of messaging. So, well, beautiful. So I want to go a little bit more into how you are helping parents or children and those with gifts right after this. Okay, so come right back with Pamela.
What truly sets you apart from your competition? Do you know the answer? Most business owners don't, and the truth is, it's what can make or break your business. Every business wants it, but few know how to get it, and that is instant recognition. The kind you get when you hear a slogan, some piece of music, or even see a logo that brings a specific brand to mind. Many businesses and organizations spend a great deal of time and energy on the visual and forget the audio. Just like you would never send out a print piece without your logo on it, we recommend all your audio should be branded with an audio logo. These are simple and relatively inexpensive to create and help you develop a consistency that most others lack. Think about some of your favorite audio logos. McDonald's with ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. Or NBC with or any of the others you might know. Build consistency with it and take it across your TV, web, and live events for maximum benefit. Music has a way of getting into our hearts and minds and triggering emotions on a subconscious level the way nothing else can. The concept of a jingle or short advertising message in the form of a tune backed by music was developed in 1920 and today continues to be one of the preferred methods for advertisers around the globe. Think Nobody Does It Like Severly. Not only are they great for instant recognition, but they have a long shelf life. Some jingles last decades and even lifetimes, never losing their effectiveness. Developing an audio brand doesn't have to be confusing. It's really simple and enjoyable. Contact us today to find out how you can get your very own customized audio jingle with our empowering music branding.
And we are back with Pamela, and we are exploring this whole idea about intuition, having spiritual gifts, and what to do with them, right? Now for you said, you know, growing up, there wasn't any major, I mean, you had some messaging around it not being okay, but not in a major way. Not enough, certainly, for you to feel that you needed to go into hiding. But were you receiving any kind of other messages around, you know, being okay and how you're showing up in the world?
I think in that regard, I was like everyone else, insecure, self-conscious. in every way, but I was very lighthearted, and I kind of just wanted to have fun.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I found every possible way to do that. You know, didn't want to go to college.
Okay.
Wanted,
Yeah, I
made
didn't want to
my
go
way.
this serious path.
No.
Just want to, yeah, I get very much a playful
Mhm.
energy with you. And yet, when you're doing your work, you're so deep and grounded in, during the break, she was sharing with me about my godmother, Lucille, who's shown up today, and how she said she was standing here and wanting to kind of, fix and fuss, which was so very much who she was. She was a professional seamstress, but that she didn't feel that she needed to, which was kind of nice.
Yeah.
That felt really nice.
That was really the message for you.
Yeah.
She thought you did it right.
But I've seen for you, and I've experienced it also in other areas where, when you're in your mode, you're very clear and it's very grounded and it's very focused. But here's what I love about you the most, is that it's not just about you. You're not just about you. You're about helping others to connect in for themselves.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. So how did that show up for you?
Well, when I realized what I could do was tune in with someone else's higher self. If I can, you can. I'm tuning into your higher self, so can you.
So can you.
I'm getting my information from you.
From you.
So that's when I started doing the meditation workshops, is what I call them. And it's, it is by invitation, but as I meet people or people say, oh yeah, I don't bring novices in, but it's a 2-hour workshop where it's a guided meditation, and I always turn it to spirit. And it's amazing how intuitively different each one is, with the different circle that we have, and then we cultivate each other's gifts and encourage them.
Yes.
One of the most important things, we all want to do what we can't. For me, I've had vision my whole life. The last thing that came to me was clairaudience, being able to hear, and that was when I really started being of service to others. But we have to honor our first gift.
Yes.
And the seeing is often, or some people it is just knowing. Some people, Spirit speaks to them in colors, in textures and feelings. And, for each person to honor that, if we have to honor that first language for it to grow. So it's, and stay in your safe zone. I certainly did that my whole life. I didn't go where I was not yet comfortable to go. And that's what I love to do in my workshops, is create a safe environment. I feel I guarantee that. It's celestial and it's safe, and you can explore and connect and learn how to do it safely and how to call in. We are all powerful. Nothing can come in our space that we don't invite. So
Say that again, because I know there are a lot of people who have, they've seen the movies, Poltergeist, and all these, movies that are out there. And so there's this fear, first of all, for some, even that any of this is bad or wrong. But then for those who are like, okay, no, we get that that's not. But then there's a fear, well, somehow you're going to be inviting in, negative energy and so forth. How can one really know that that's not going to happen?
we just, I start everything I do with thank you, Archangel Michael, for all your beautiful protection. And I welcome only celestial beings. And so even the deceased have to stand outside this, what I have is a 15-foot circle, and ask permission to enter. We invite it in just by being titillated by a horror picture, and I understand that. I remember one of my friend's daughters once said that she was having some scary things, and I just knew the question. I said, well, do you watch horror pictures? And it's like, yeah. Well, you're kind of, it's that push and pull feeling we have.
So you're saying even just by intending, by really just stating that intention, that you're safe and that you're, secure, and you're keeping your energy and anything around you safe.
It is intention. And I have to say, I have a personal feeling about Ouija boards, is that just invites in energy. We work with Doreen Birch, and we see her angel cards, and I don't work with cards or any tools particularly, but they're set with the intention, celestial intention. And tarot cards are open also, so they are as pure as the reader, But Ouija boards, I tend to, if I come across one, I kind of want to destroy it, to be quite honest, because children tend to play with them, and they're not in a place of intention. So we can invite in, you know, and it's not that we are all powerful. We can ask them to leave as well, but we should be spiritually grounded before we play in the realm.
So I think that is, I think, very much the bottom line, is having, even yourself, your own journey. You said you didn't go into things that you didn't understand yet. You did your homework, you did your research, and allowed yourself to get spiritually mature. So what are some of the things that you did, and what are some of the things that each person can do to begin to tap in and to connect with their own higher self and their own higher energy and understanding?
I love to help people find that place inside themselves. And I don't know if everyone knows, but we have this beautiful light within us that is our God self. And it has never been damaged. It has never been harmed. And it is, we focus on doubts and fears and details. We focus on everything except our light. And when we're younger, sometimes that seems boring. You know? And I admit to that. Some of the other is more fun. But when we just get connected, the first thing I love to help someone do is to come to that place where you can take a deep breath and settle right in your heart space and know that you can get a yes/no answer. Because, you know, and always, it's like dousing within yourself with your higher self. And you turn off your mind, you take that beautiful deep breath, and sometimes you have to do a little more than once, and settle into that perfect place, and then we always say, is it for my highest good? And I have to tell you, there is perfect clarity there. I've made the mistake once in a while, if we just say, should I do this, should I do that? If fear is asking the question, fear is going to answer. So it's just that, but if you can take that deep breath, and it does take a little bit, you know, doing it a few times in meditations and workshops, of just finding your still place. And you do have to practice to be able to go there. I can go there with one breath. And then say, you know, is this for my highest good?
And you get a yes or a no.
Yeah, and I trust it implicitly. So I love to help people do that. We all have that within us.
I love that, yes.
And that should really be the first step.
Beautiful. I think that's really powerful because, again, I think we get it so complicated. We love to just make things very complicated.
And fun. And, you know.
Drama, you know, lots of drama, you know, and not to certainly nullify any other processes, which are certainly valid and valuable, but I love the simplicity of this. I love the simplicity of just right within, you know, and you kind of gesturing here, you know, right within the solar plexus or, you know, chakra, and as people are aware, but just settling right within your own self, there is that higher self, there's the higher knowing, and you can get your answers right there. And it can be as simple as, I love the reframe of the question, rather than the should, and I like to say, you know, don't should on yourself. But but I love the question instead, is it for my highest, right? Is my highest good?
Highest good.
I love that. And then allowing the answer to simply come through. And then the trusting, you said that, which was really key. I think that's huge. Because, you know, and I was in another interview and we were speaking about this, you know, well, we'll say, oh, well, something said, you know, something told me to blah, 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 something told me to, and it's great when we follow it, and, you know, we may miss an accident, we may miss, you know, or be at, you know, the place that we need to, whatever that is, but it's when we don't listen, that's when we also go, man, I should have listened to that, you know, then we'll shit on ourselves again. But I love this again, it's then trusting what you get there. And I think that's where most of us struggle, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Because, well, what if I'm wrong? Or what if that's not right? Or what's going to happen? It's now the unknown. Or sometimes it's the known and you don't want to have to face it. Yeah.
That happens.
I think that's the big one.
Yeah. The known things are sometimes scarier than the unknown, and vice versa.
Yeah. So, and for you, this is your daily process. This is how you walk through life. And you help others to do the same.
I love to do that.
I think and that's what I've watched you do so beautifully, and really just allow. So you said you receive messages from guides and angels as well.
I believe, number one, our higher self is the the gathering, the source, where I really focus on higher self, and I can get messages from the guides or the angels through the higher self. But once in a while, I do get, they just come in on a different note, and the different archangels have different energies, and for instance, if Gabriel speaks, I'm kind of, it's like that old commercial, I just go, okay, I sit really quietly, and I have in my mind heard God's voice, and it's very powerful. But when an angel is kind of sidestepping, and that's when they turn my left ear bright red, and I'll look at someone, I'll go, this is how important this message is for you. They're stepping outside of even your guide. They're letting me know that this is a direct message. And it always seems to come to someone who intent and path is to greatly be of service. But so many of our greatest people, we shoot ourselves in the foot, with the greatest of intents, with the ones who want to help the most.
So what I love about you, again, still is that you're not only doing this work, but you're helping others to do it. So that exercise that you just gave us is something that can be, is there anything that needs to be done to prepare for it? Or
I find the peaceful place. Meditation can be anything, and that's what I love to tell people. As easy and as much as I meditate now, I was never just able to go off, and that's why my meditations are guided so often. I don't think we can trick our brain. I think we engage our brain until it gets distracted, and then we find ourselves in that beautiful place. So anything can be a meditation. Doing the dishes, anything can be a meditation. But I think where most people fail is that they begin by trying to empty your mind. Well, your mind is a powerful muscle, and it's like you've always told me to go, 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 problem solve, 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 solve. And now you're telling me to be quiet.
Stop, yeah.
But so my idea of meditation is that we just engage the mind until we find ourselves. It's like, you're in a noisy place, and all of a sudden you start having that amazing conversation, and then the sound just
disappears. Yeah.
And that to me is what meditation is. And so usually we give up. So my first thing was a guided meditation, just a way to engage your mind in a way that makes you happy, and then all of a sudden you slip into that place. And once you've found it, you know where to go to get back. So in all the workshops, I always tell people, the more time you spend here, the more this feels like home.
I would agree with that. So we're going to go a little bit deeper into that when we come back. So come right back with Pamela.
Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear